right, ladies and gentlemen, we're on the hit list. This is International Red Fashion Experience, and we are talking about growing up. Growing up is an attitude. You should grow maturely as you get older. A lot of people get stuck in the past. They don't live their life accordingly. Like when you're young, do what young people do. When you get older, you do certain things. You know what I'm saying? Because when you get a certain age, you're not supposed to be doing those things that you did when you were young. You're supposed to mature accordingly. And I'm glad that I'm at the age that I am, that I'm mature, that I'm acting that age because I am that age. You know what I mean? And I appreciate being the age that I am. You know, it's like you got people that get in relationships. When you're young, you're in relationships. You're in the 40s, 30s. You might not settle down with one woman. You might, still be trying to look for that main squeeze, so you don't attach to that one particular relationship at that time. But if you invest time in a relationship and you've been with that relationship a long time, and you have kids and family, you should try to hold on to it and be with that relationship. You should stick with that unless you make mistakes along the way. Not being mature, not growing up like me when I was young. In my 20s, I wasn't growing up. I mean, I didn't do the things. I was drinking and ripping and running and not appreciating the family that I had at the time when I had the family. Then when I did appreciate the family didn't appreciate me. So the point of it is that you have to be mature and grow at a rapid pace to where you can be on as I call it, the hit list. And what I mean by that is, what you do is you grow up. You know what I'm saying? When you get, like, say, in your 50s, you're looking for one good woman. You should be looking for one good woman. You understand? If you lost and you made mistakes in the past, you should be on a clear path not to make no more mistakes no more. You should be trying to live a clear, beautiful, peaceful life. You should not want the drama that you had when you were in your 30s and 40s. You were drinking and on drugs and doing all those things. You partied and all that. That was cool. Then when you get past your 50s, you should want to be with one woman and have one enjoyment with her, with that one woman. You know what I'm saying? And show that in your actions and in your pictures and in the things you do. You know what I'm talking about? Show those mature actions as well. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? You don't have to take pictures with a lot of different women. You know what I'm saying? A lot of different people, because it don't show dedication and devotion. That's how I look at it. That's my principle. That's my standards. You dig? That's how I look at it. You understand me? You know what I mean? When I was loose and free, that's when you take pictures with a lot of ladies. You understand? Because you know what I mean. You're on the pursuit. You're looking for devotion and dedication. You're looking for that. You understand? When you're looking for it, it's a different situation. You understand? I'll use some examples. Say you get to a certain age. You're in your 50s. You're in your 60s, right? You have a beautiful family. You have kids. You have grandchildren. You have all that, right? So you don't leave all that, you understand me, for no woman that don't have nothing. Just because she's younger or whatever, you trade all that in for that. That's not growing up. That's not growing up at all, you understand? Because that's not real, that's superficial, you understand? They're with you not for what you built with them. You didn't build nothing with them, so you actually don't have anything with them. Be with that or who you with that you built with. Try to build something with someone. Have something to show for that money can't buy. You understand? Try to show something with this person that's priceless, that money cannot buy. If you can do that, then you're really doing something that's beneficial and that's shows you as being a grown up. You be a grown up person. You do things to make yourself grown. You grow. You be strong. You know what I mean? And you stick with the family, with you have values. You know what I mean? You stick with that. You don't leave that family and your grandchildren and all them and don't see them no more and be with one person. Be with one woman that you have nothing in common with. You know what I mean? Because what she might have money or you know what I'm saying? Something that's not nothing, something that's no real value there. You know, you don't do that. You know what I'm saying? You get to an age where you mature and you go along with your age bracket. To say, for instance, you might have wore jeans and slack suits, tennis shoes and jeans. You know what I'm saying? I used to wear jean suits and slack suits and jogging suits back at one time, right? One time I wore that, right? Then when I went to New York, I came back. I think it was 2005. I didn't do nothing but wear suits all the time, every day, all day. That's all I did was wear suits, because I got to the point to where I told myself as I got older, when I got to a certain age, I was going to wear suits, and I was going to upgrade my hustle, upgrade my environment, and I was going to be looking for me a woman at that time. I was going to be looking for me a woman at that time, and I was going to dress up accordingly to what I was looking for. It's like if you're shopping, you're popping, you're going to look for something that's going to appreciate you for the man that you are. When you're wearing suits and dressed up, you're gonna attract a woman that wants to be with a man on another level. You're a man on another level, right? So a woman see you, she know you're on an upgrade. You understand? She knows you're not a simple-minded person. You're not half-stepping. You're not riff-raff. You're not riff-raff. You're on another level the way you're doing positive things. You're living a positive way. And you're shooting for the best. You reflect the best the way you dress. You know what I mean? You're mature. You're grown up. You know what you want out of life. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, like me and my woman, you understand me? We dress as we're blessed. We match as we're heart attached. We do this. We dress like each other. You know what I mean? Because that's what we do. That's our thing, right? That's what we do. Everybody got to have and do their own thing. And that's something that we do. You dig? We've been doing it. Nobody else been doing it. Now people are starting to do it. People are starting to do that we do. They're starting to do it, you know what I mean? And it's okay if they want to do it. It's okay. I'm not mad at them for doing it. You understand me? Because I figure like this. If you want to copy me and do what I do, that's up to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm an originator. I do what I do, and I don't tell people where I go get things at. I don't advertise. I don't hide side. I don't do that no more. I just be my best self. I be myself, and I do the best I can do for me and my woman. And growing up is a part of that. You grow up and you try to be in one relationship. You don't chase. When you're a mature man and you get to that point in life where you're grown up, you don't cheat on your woman. You don't go trying to have 2 or 3 women. You don't need to lie to women, telling them this and telling them that. You don't do that. You don't have to lie to the women. Until you get with one woman and you're dedicated to her. You know what I'm saying? And you're looking for the right one. That's different. You know what I'm saying? But you're not being intimate with them. And when you start being intimate, then that's when you found the right woman. You're with the right one. You're not looking no more. You found. You understand me? That's how I look at it. That's the way I deal with it. Everybody has their own ways of dealing with things and doing different things. People do things differently. But I'm just trying to be real about the things I do. And being grown up. You know what I mean? Like people, like I spoke on the clothes. Elevating to the clothes level to get into the suits. Well, the same way you mature, the way you look, is the way you have to act. You have to be true and be honest with the way you act as well. You know what I mean? You elevate and you get to a certain level, is what you call elevation. You elevate it. And by dressing better and looking better, you're elevated. And by me wearing fun colors and fun clothes, is I've got off that kick as being boring and plain. I'm not going to be plain no more. I'm not going to be looking like somebody going to church. I'm going to look like I'm living my life having fun. I'm living a fun life. And I'm going to live and enjoy life as I'm having fun in life. And that's the way I'm going to look. That's the way I'm going to dress. Fun life. You dig? And that's the way I do it. You know what I mean? Yes. And I'm going to do it like that. dress as a blessing, match as a heart attack. And be happy doing it. Be happy doing it going along the way. Be happy as I do what I do, because being happy, happiness, see, you got to find your happiness and be where you want to be. Some people never grow up. They try to stay young. They try to, look young, act young, and try to be younger than they are. I'm not worried about that. I just want to be happy where I'm at, Being 72, I'm happy being 72. I'm not mad about being 72. I just want the best health I can get at the time. But as far as being 72, that doesn't bother me, being that age anymore. I just want to be active. I want to be active. I want to get around and move around, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it if it's the last thing I do, is I'm going to stay active and stay busy, every day and all the time. I'm going to stay busy and stay active in my life. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be young, trying to keep up with the young people. They wear tennis shoes, they do this. I got a couple of pairs of tennis shoes. I haven't even worn them lately. But I will wear them occasionally with different outfits. I will wear, because I can when I feel like wearing them, you know what I mean? But I wear fun things like, that I feel like wearing is comfortable to me. It's no age on what I'm wearing, like what I'm wearing now, loud colors and stuff like this, bright, and because I want to stand out, because I feel good, it's no limit on my being old or being young, you know what I'm saying? I just feel good. I just dress good. It's what appeals to me, you know what I mean? Cheer people up. It's a bright and cheering colors. Bright and cheering colors to cheer people up is what I like. Cheering colors. The colors that cheer people up. That's what I like. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? When you can cheer people up and you dress cheerful, then that's a beautiful thing. You understand me? When you can do that, that's a very, 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 very beautiful thing. To dress that way, you know what I mean? You dress according to your age. But if you want to dress whatever way you want to dress, that's good for you. You know what I'm saying? You dress the way you want. It's how you feel. See, a lot of people are not going to dress like I dress because they don't feel they don't have the confidence. So you have to have confidence to dress a certain way. You have to build that confidence up to get to it. You know what I mean? And that's how I look at it, because I'm the kind of person. I can dress any way I want, you know what I mean? And I love clothes, so that's what I do, what I feel like doing, because I like it. Because I love clothes. I do it for me, not for nobody else. That's the bottom line. I do what I do for me, not for no one else. You see what I'm saying? It's the dress I do for me, not for no one else. You see what I'm saying? If other people like it, it's okay. I'm talking about, if they like what I do, it's okay. I'm not mad at them. You know what I'm saying? It's just that you got to realize that you have to do what you do for yourself and what makes you happy. You dig? If it makes you happy, that's what counts. You understand? If it makes you happy, you got to make sure whatever you do, you happy doing it. You're doing it for yourself. You know what I'm talking about? And as long as you're doing it for yourself and it makes you happy, then that's what counts. That's what you have to realize. That's what counts. You understand? That's how you have to look at it. You see? You make sure you do what counts. You understand me? And if you count and you do what's best for you and you happy, that's all that counts. Don't worry about what other people think or what other people say. Don't let that bother you. Don't let that bother you with the least bit. Don't let it infringe, or don't let it discriminate. Don't let it offend you, or don't even think about it. Whatever people don't worry about what people think or what people do. You do what you want to do. Like me, I got 3 or 4 flowers on. I used to wear 1 flower, then I wore 2, then I got to the point to where now I wear more than that. I wear 2 or 3 because that's how I feel. You know what I mean? If I do what I do because I do it for me, not for nobody else. I ain't trying to keep up with nobody else. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing what I'm doing for me, for my benefit. As long long as I do that, then I'm winning, man. And I'm gonna hit this, you know. And I'm gonna keep living like this. You gotta be your best self. That's what you have to realize and understand, being your best self. You know, and that's why, like, I lost weight now. I feel good about that now. I'm getting there, and I'm not pressing behind it because I do what I do and I do it how I do it. You know, and I'm not gonna let nothing hold me back because I'm gonna be my best self. As long as I'm being my best self and I'm doing what I'm doing for me, because it makes me happy, me and mine happy, then that's what counts. You know, I do what makes us happy. I don't do things for nobody else. When you have to realize, one thing you have to realize in life, you have to be your best self and grow up, be grown up though. You got to grow up for yourself and for your own benefit. Get out, be responsible, be independent. Get out and get out and be on your own. You know, it's good to do that when you're a certain age. You know, if you have to. But then again, sometimes it's beneficial to be back home with your people when you can be with them. You know what I'm saying? Especially when they need you. They get a certain age where it's best to be with them. I know when I got older, I stayed with my mother. You know what I'm saying? When she moved back on 27th, over there in Oakland, I moved back with her because it was the best thing to do. Because she needed someone there for her, you know, to be with her. And that's what I did. You know what I'm saying? And that was all good. You know what I'm saying? When I needed to be there for her, then I went back over there. You know, you understand? And it was all for, it wasn't for the money, it was for the fact that they help her out. You know what I mean? To do the right thing, to do the right thing. When you do the right thing, you are blessed. You do be blessed down the way. Your blessings will be met. Your blessings are always met. You dig? And when you're blessed, you dig? You're met, you're blessed, and you will be met. You dig? And that's what happens. You dig? You have to realize that. You know, you have to realize the lessons and the blessings that you have. You dig? And that makes everything right. You dig? Yeah, you learn your lessons, and throughout the lessons that you learn, you get blessed. You know, as long as you do what's right. You know, and you do it for yourself. You don't do it for other people. You do it because it's the right thing to do. You know. You know what I'm talking about? Just like when I gave that man that money. I gave it to him because I know it's the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? You dig? And you got to think bigger than all that other mediocrity. The mediocrity, you got to think bigger than that, because mediocrity is you know, you don't let that hold you back. You know, you steady strive to be your best self. If you could be your best self, then you're winning. You're winning by being your best self, doing the best you could do. So you achieve all that you need to achieve, being your best self. You know, that's why I don't be around those people no more. Too many people. I cut back from being over there when I used to go there. I cut that back. You know what I'm saying? Because technically speaking, hate is real. You know what I'm talking about? And what I mean by hate is being real, because you got people that technically they're not gonna like you. You know what I'm saying? And by them not liking, there's nothing we can do about it. You know what I mean? We can't do nothing about what they do. You know what I mean? We can't do nothing about it. You know? Oh yeah, that. Oh yeah, it's nothing you can do about it. You can't worry about that, about those things that are, you know, that could be in your way. You know, those things that could be in your way. I mean, you know, you don't let it bother you. No, you don't. You know, you live your best life. You know what I'm saying? And you don't sweat the small stuff, the small things. You don't sweat it. Friends that you might have had that you're not friends with now, that you might have outgrew, whatever the situation is, that they're not friends with you. Let it go, because you know why? You're growing and you're being better each and every day in every way. And they're not growing, they're not going. So therefore, you know what? Let them go. Let them stay where they're at. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not on your page. They're not with you. They're not on your level. You know, they're not on your level. You know. And you're steady growing. You know, you're growing up and you're steady growing. And you see that they're not changing. You gotta let them go. Like I told my man about my niece. Man, my niece for 2-3 years, she wasn't trying to find out who I was or know anything about me. When I was going to seeing her, giving her money for her graduation, giving her money for her birthday. Then you change numbers, and then you don't, you know what I mean? You don't contact me for 2 years, you know, and I'm calling you, and you don't give me the new number, right? But 2 years go by, then you suffering, you're doing bad, and then now all of a sudden I hear about how you tripping, but now you want to you want my number now. I'm not gonna give you my number. And I'm gonna tell you why. Whenever I talk with you, I'm not gonna give you my number because I don't want your number now. When you did not give me your number when you were giving people your new number. You didn't give it to me. When you got a new number and you know I was keeping in contact with your mother, right? But you never said nothing to me. You told your mother anything or whatever. So it's okay. You lose communication because relationships, you have to maintain a relationship. Relationships are something that you have to maintain. You know, maintain relationships. That's part of being grown. That's what you call growing up. You're growing up when you do that. When you remain in relationships and you do things that, you know, you grow up and you don't steal no more. You be polite. You call people up and you talk to them and ask them how they're doing and be interested in how they're doing. You know what I mean? Because it's the right thing to do. You know, not just when you want something. You know what I mean? And that's what's bad when you don't do that. That's what's it's a bad habit when you don't recognize that from the people and you don't tell them. You know what I mean? You know. That you're doing, that you need to see them. You know, when you don't see them and you neglect them. I'm not gonna let you walk over me or neglect me. You understand? I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna keep enjoying life. You know, it's my other sister. I just thought about her. I gotta call her. She didn't call me last week. I don't know if she's tripping off my other sister, but I do not have time to worry about it. I sent her the pictures. I'll probably call her. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know if I'm thinking about it, but I gotta call her and see what's on her mind because I'm thinking it's got to be something. Because you're not calling. You didn't call. But I'm not gonna let it set me back, and I'm gonna see her this summer. I will do that. Go see her this summer. But I am trying to make things work out. You know, I'm trying to make things work out. You know, I am trying to do that. You know, I go over there, spend the night, see my friend Silky, spend the night in Fresno and get up early that next morning. And then go see my sister and grab my niece. See, that's how I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it like that, you understand? But it's all going to work out because, you know, I'm like this. I'm going to do what's right, because it's the right thing to do. You know, I'm going to do that. I'm not tripping, man, because I ain't got time to trip and play games with people. I don't have time to do that. I'm just going to do what's right and keep living my life. You know, and live a good life. We older now. You got to forgive and forget whatever things that happened in the past. We all made mistakes. We all did things that were wrong. We all did a lot of things that went right. We got to let that go and keep on going. You know what I'm saying? You know, the things that we've done in the past, we have to overlook all that because you have to grow up. You have to grow up. You have to realize that you have to grow up. You there? It's all part of growing up. When you grow up and you be a mature person and you live life and you don't trip off the little small stuff. You don't compete with nobody but yourself. and you be your best self. You know what I'm saying? You find your mate, you be true to her, and you do what's right with your mate and for your mate. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You got to be you got to learn how to live your life. You know, don't let nobody, you know what I mean, try to tell you how to live or tell you something that they don't know. You know what I'm talking about? You gotta straighten them out. You know, I'm gonna straighten Roy about Ado. I'm gonna do that because that's the thing to do. I gotta straighten Roy out about that. But it's gonna be the right time when Ado is there and we all there and whatever, when the time is right. You know, that's when that need to happen, you know. But I'm not tripping off of that. The time will be right. You know. You know, because people say things and put people in proper perspective and don't even know what they be talking about. Half the time they don't know what they're saying. You know. Yeah, they be saying things and they don't really even know what they be they don't know what they be saying. You know what's really going on. They really don't even know. You know. I got 26 minutes. I got to play this off. But the thing about it is that, like I said, growing up, you got to remember. You know, that we all should mature and grow up. Some people don't grow up. It's not age. Age has nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? It's growing up and having a positive attitude and growing up and forgiving people and overlooking the little small stuff that don't mean nothing. You know, you overlook that. You know, you overlook stuff like that because, you know, you're bigger than that. You know what I mean? You gotta grow. You know what I'm saying? And live your best life. You know, for what you believe in and what you feel and why you want to do. That's what you have to do. You know, it's like me and my queen. We gonna go places and do things. I still got places and things to do. I gotta wait. You know, when she's more better health wise, when she gets, you know, back together. When she gets back together, we're gonna do these things. Right now, health is first. Health is first. Your health has to be in order first. That's the first priority. That's the first thing, right? You know, and the doctor got to give me some medicine or something to help me feel better about what I'm dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Then I'll be okay. You know, but I don't let nothing worry me though, man. I ain't got time to worry and be embarrassed and be caught in a bag, trick bag. No, not me. No trick bag. Don't be neglected. I'm not gonna be neglected. You know, I'll be short-staffed. Not me. I'm not gonna let it happen. I'm gonna handle my business. You know what I mean? To be the best I could be and do what I gotta do for me. And, you know, and that's what you have to do. You have to enjoy yourself and live your best life and be happy. Be happy living a good life. You know what I mean? So you have to grow up and realize, be mature enough to appreciate that type of life. You gotta do that. Appreciate the life you're living and be mature in that regards. You know, I'm gonna keep it on here because my glasses on because I'm gonna keep my glasses off. I mean, because I only got 2 minutes. You know, and within 2 minutes I gotta see what I'm doing because I look at it like this. You know, you got one life to live. You know, you should have lived your life at the time when you were doing your running around and having sex with a lot of women, whenever that time was when you did that. When you were young and you did that when you were young. When you get to a certain age, you don't do that stuff. You be mature enough to where all you want to do is get in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? And be in a relationship and grow and be your best self with a good mate that you can be happy with. If you find that, you know what I mean, then you be happy with that person and be your best self. You know what I'm saying? And don't let no one put you in a position where you're not being your best. You know, I got 1 minute left, and with this 1 minute, I'm gonna thank everyone for looking at my shows. You know what I'm saying? You know, on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? When you see them live on live TV, you can go back to my YouTube International Reds Fashion Experience, and you can find all the shows from the past that I've done. You know what I mean? To a certain point, the ones that I kept up with. And you could get ideas about fashion because I am a fashion guru and I'm a fashion master. And I do have a book that's coming out dealing with my fashion. I do have the book coming out, and it'll be coming out real soon. It'll be within days. It'll be coming out. My book will be coming out within days. So I want everyone to know that. You understand? International Red Fashion Fair. And this show is growing up. The show is growing out. Thank you.